Hey guys, how's it going? Mr. Schwo here, bringing you a team deathmatch on Clock Tower. And I want to talk about a couple things today. First off, I want to talk about the event over the weekend. This is my rifle playlist. And it got me to thinking, like when they designed the multiplayer for Gears 1, I guess they decided, in terms of speeding up the game, to give players the shotguns because of how long it took to down somebody and kill somebody with the Lancer. But I was thinking, just imagine, what if they decided not to give you that shotgun? What if you just spawned in with the smoke, the Lancer, and your pistol? It'd be such a different game. There'd be a shotgun in each spawn. Each team could pick one up. It'd be so different. That guy with the shotgun would become some kind of power player and would basically decide who wins and loses the round. Really, I mean, you'd have to make all your pushes with that one guy who had a shotgun. And I'm sure some of the maps probably wouldn't have even had him at all. It would have been just a totally different game. And there's those new incendiaries. I can't remember if I talked about that or not, but they decided, I think, to add 2.5 times the insta-death radius to the incendiaries, and 1.5 damage when they're on the floor. I get the floor damage, believe me, because there's supposed to be the area of denial nades in this game, kind of like the inks were in the last one, in Gears 2 to be specific. But adding the 2.5 kill radius, I don't know about that. It seems like those things are so hard to avoid now. And I was like, the insta kill on that used to be a thing that you if you were skilled with them, it was something that you could get good at, and it was a special skill to have that not a lot of people were really into, But now it's anybody can just pick them up and just huck them anywhere and get kills. So to be honest, I think they should have probably, adding the floor damage was a good idea, but the insta kill radius, 2.5 times bigger, maybe just 2 times bigger would have been good, But anyway, that's my feeling on that. But just imagine Gears without shotguns or pickup shotguns. You spawn in. It'd be so weird. You'd all just you'd be setting up angles all the time. You'd have one guy with a shotgun. He'd have to do all the work. It'd be so weird. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about a topic that I'm sure nobody wants to talk about, but we kind of have to. Anyone who saw Major Nelson's live activity chart for the week knows that Gears dropped all the way down to 8th place already. 8th place. There are more people playing Halo Reach than there are playing Gears of War 3. Really? Halo Reach? Really? I mean, we're going to have to ask the question, is Gears dead or dying? I don't want to ask that question. I think we all thought big things for Gears when this game came out, and I still stand by this game. I think it's the best Gears game by far. It's almost perfect, but for whatever reason, people are not playing it, and we need to figure out why that might be. Now, let's talk about weapons. Since day one, anyone who's been following my channel knows that I am an advocate of the sawed-off shotgun and the retro Lancer. I don't use them, but I don't have a problem with them either. And I don't really have a problem with, especially the post-patch sawed-off, because the sawed-off did get a little irritating at first, but once they patched it, it really was no longer a problem. Actually, they patched it twice, to be honest, but I get why. The way it is now, it's in the game, so the people who can't aim well with the Nasher can get a kill. But you're really only going to get one kill, and then you're going to die. You're a 1 KD player, at best, if you know what you're doing. If you can move around the map. But anyway, the sawed-off and the retro turned off a lot of people. They were considered easy-to-use newbie weapons, and in a lot of ways, the sawed-off was... That's completely untrue about the retro. The retro is not a newbie weapon in the least. It's a weapon that actually takes skill. I don't know why people have this idea that it's a new weapon. The fact of the matter is they're new weapons. They're new weapons to the starting rifle, the starting weapon rotation, and that's something we never really were used to in Gears. I mean, yeah, the hammer burst in Gears 2, but nobody uses the hammer burst in Gears 2. Nobody uses the hammer. Only people with modded controllers would use it a lot, obviously, but that's all you really ever saw out of it because there was no reason to. The Lancer was fine. And to be honest, that hasn't changed at all. Lancer's still by far the best. You want to call out newbie weapons. The biggest noob weapons really are the Lancer and the Gnasher. But we're not really debating this. This is really about the state of Gears. But anyway, I think a lot of people conceived those weapons to be newbie and were turned off by it and left the game. And I think you can't, as much as I hate it, you can't really overlook that, because when the alpha playlist came out, you saw how big that was. But I think honestly, it might have just been too late, because I think a lot of people had decided they were moving on, and that was it. They were going back to Call of Duty. They were going back to Call of Duty. They're going to Battlefield. Whatever. But it's just a shame. Well, there are also things I want to look at, also like the weapon skins. Now, we all remember the controversy toward the end of the summer when the game was getting close to release, when we all realized that that plentiful amount of weapon skins that we all saw were not going to be available for unlock in game. We found out they were going to be only available if you bought them. And I think a lot of people had the impression, myself included, that all these weapon skins they were advertising all along were going to be in-game unlocks, like things you get as you leveled up. And people wanted to see that out of Gears. We had the leveling system in Gears 2, but you didn't get anything for it. In this game, they were getting characters and weapon skins and stuff like that. And and they stayed true to their word on all that, but it's it's on a smaller scale than people thought we were going to get. I think people saw those weapon skins and saw as things that we were going to be able to unlock in game and as we progress, and now they saw you have to buy it. That kind of takes away from the whole RPG element of the multiplayer and all that, and nobody really wanted to see that. And I remember there being a big outcry, and then there's the issue with the versus booster pack and the season pass and all that, because you get those maps for free, but you really don't. You can only play ranked on and quick match on them. You can't play private. Some of my best friends on the game don't have that DLC, and they can't host can't host matches on Blood Drive and Azura and Wrestling. That's pretty important. But I guess if you're only into online matchmaking, it means nothing. So a lot of people were upset about that. So there's a lot of shadiness with some of the ways that Epic handle things, and I do think that impacts people. Like announcements, delays, stuff like that. You can't discount that stuff. That angers people, and you're just seeing people leave this game in droves. None of the game types have that. Only Team Deathmatch has an adequate amount of players for a playlist, really. I mean, last night I went to go play a Ranked Warzone match. There were 90 people in Ranked Warzone. 90. And I live in New York. That's a pretty big region. There's a lot of... There should be, a lot of people on Ranked Warzone, which used to be the most popular game type in Gears. And no one's on it. So, I'm gonna come up with some ideas for the future soon that I'm gonna put on the Epic forums. I think right now is the time to start dialogue between the developer and the consumer, because when they announce a game, they already have a plan for what they're gonna do with the multiplayer and weapons and stuff like that. But right now is the time we gotta start getting on them about what we want to see in the future. And I guess I'm gonna make a thread over on the Epic forums. When I do make it, I'll do another commentary. I'll talk about it and I'll link it. But I'm gonna put out a couple ideas that I'm gonna throw in that thread, and one of them is to remove the Warzone game type completely. Warzone used to be my favorite game type in Gears. I always liked it more than Execution, but you got to be realistic when you got 90 people playing ranked. Obviously people like Execution a little more. So what you need to do is, or at least I think they should do, is they should scrap Warzone entirely. You already got Team Deathmatch, you already got Execution, you don't really need Warzone. And if you'll remember, Arctic from the MLG community was suggesting something like Search and Destroy or Counter-Strike, that kind of thing for Gears. And I think it's time to, we got to be smart here. They gotta get rid of Warzone, add that in. It's something new. It's something exciting. People want to see it. It's another elimination game type, so obviously, the more higher caliber hardcore guys are gonna like it. And I think that'll go over really well. I think it'll go over a lot better than Warzone, that's for sure. Not that it can get any worse, but... And also, CTL has got to go. That was a failure. That was a complete failure. They took a really popular game type in Guardian and combined it with Submission, which nobody liked, and it didn't work in the least. Basically all you had now is people saying, "Oh, what happened to Guardian?" There aren't any people asking what happened to Submission, and that's why it didn't work. You can't combine a popular idea with an unpopular idea, and that was a big mistake. But I'm sure that's been beaten to death. But you have to keep mentioning it so things like that don't happen again in the future. Also have a pretty good idea of what needs to happen to the sawed-off shotgun in the future, and spoiler alert, it involves making it a pickup weapon and converting it from like a overpowered starting weapon to a decent power weapon. That's what needs to happen for the sawed-off. That's the process that needs to be involved. I don't quite have enough time to go into what I would do for starting shotguns and power weapons and stuff like that. But like I said, I am going to make a thread pretty soon over on the Epic forums, and I'm hoping to gain a lot of support of what we have left in the community. But again, I posed the question: do you guys think Gears is dead? 'Cause I'm kind of not sure right now. I know supposedly there's a whole other trilogy coming out being done by People Can Fly, and it's a prequel. But right now, man, it just doesn't seem too good right now. So if you guys think Gears is dead, let me know. If you think I'm out of my mind, let me know. And leave a like. It really does help out. I want to start building this channel up. It's time to get moving. And that's about all the time we got on this gameplay. So I will talk to you guys later. And as always, peace.